Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Welcome back to the channel that brings you the punchiest, kickiest, and most explosive content on the web. Today we're diving headfirst, more like doing a triple backflip off a skyscraper, into the wild and wonderful world of action anime. From gravity-defying hairdos to plot armor thicker than your grandma's knitting, we're about to explore why action anime is basically your life. But with more screaming, more power-ups, and a lot more, well, everything. If you think your daily commute is intense, wait until you see what these characters go through just to get to school. So grab your katana, power up your chakra, and get ready to unleash your inner otaku as we count down the best action-packed anime that will make you want to quit your job and become a full-time hero. So let's begin the video. On number 6. Trigun Stampede. It is a wild sci-fi roller coaster that follows Vash the Stampede, a dude who somehow combines the vibe of a cool outlaw and a clueless puppy. He's got a reputation as the humanoid typhoon, which makes sense because wherever he goes, chaos follows even if he's just trying to get a sandwich. Vash has a knack for getting into trouble without really trying. Think of him as that friend who spills coffee on themselves 5 minutes after getting dressed. But despite his klutziness, he's a gunslinging, peace-loving guy who avoids violence like it's the plague. You know, like a pacifist with really good aim. He's basically the universe's most dangerous pacifist, and his dream is to live a peaceful life, but the universe has other plans. Every episode is an adventure of Vash accidentally getting into messy situations that involve bounty hunters, mysterious organizations, and occasionally giant worms that look like they came straight out of a nightmare. Even though anime is heavily depends upon CGI, still it is perfectly animated. On number 5. Ragna Crimson. Imagine a fantasy world where dragons are basically the overlords of everything. I've seen fluffier kittens that are more intimidating, but don't let their size fool you. These dragons can mess up your day faster than you can say fireball. Our main character, Ragna, wakes up one day and realizes that he has no chance against these Godzilla-sized beasts. So he teams up with a super cute but deadly assassin named Crimson. You see what they did there? Ragna and Crimson. Such creativity. The fight scenes are chef's kiss. You know those anime battles where you're like, wait, was that a headbutt or did they just invent a new martial art technique called the Dragon Dance? Yeah, it's like that, and let me tell you, it's not a dance I'd want to join. Okay, but wait, Ragna's powers, the man gets serious upgrades. I mean, calling yourself the weakest while accidentally unlocking super duper power modes. The character development here is so strong that even my therapist would be impressed. Our main character main goal is to hunt down all the dragon that exits in the world for his Crimson. Grab that old snack that's been sitting in the cupboard and dive into Ragna Crimson. On number 4, Hell's Paradise is an anime that throws you headfirst into a bizarre, chaotic world where criminals, assassins, and a guy who really wants to be left alone all end up on an island straight out of a fever dream. The story kicks off with Gabimaru the Hollow, an infamous ninja who's supposedly got no feelings but is mostly just a tired guy who wants to quit his job and spend more time with his wife. Instead of retirement though, he gets sentenced to death, which to his utter annoyance doesn't go as planned because he's too darn tough to die. No matter what the executioners throw at him, beheading, boiling, a bad hair day, Gabimaru just won't kick the bucket. The solution? Ship him off to a creepy island that makes the Bermuda Triangle look like a fun tourist destination. The island is rumored to have the elixir of immortality, which everyone is eager to get their hands on, because who wouldn't want eternal life when they could instead be trapped forever on an island full of monsters that look like they were designed by someone who mixed up their art book with a sushi menu. Once on the island, it's clear that everything there wants to kill them, eat them, or kill them and then eat them. The flora and fauna are like a haunted botanical garden on steroids, with giant insects, human-faced flowers, and other creepy crawlies that look like they escaped from an ancient myth or a really bad drug trip. On number 3, Ranking of Kings. It is like if Game of Thrones and a fairy tale had a baby, but instead of a dragon, you get a tiny, adorable prince named Boji. Seriously folks, if he were any cuter, squirrels would start throwing acorns at him. Let's dive into the characters, because trust me, they serve pure gold. First up, meet Boji. He's the prince of the kingdom, but here's the twist. He can't talk and is super small. I mean, I've seen easier builds in a Lego set, but he's got a heart of gold and the enthusiasm of a puppy on espresso. But wait, it's not just cute princes and colorful characters. The show dives into some heavy themes, like friendship, courage, and how to deal with overbearing parents. Seriously, I wanted to send Boji's dad a strongly worded email. I mean, parent of the year, he is not. If you think you've seen beautiful animation, wait till you feast your eyes on this. The colors pop, the fights are intense, and the backgrounds look like they were designed by someone who has way too many art supplies. So if you haven't started watching Ranking of Kings yet, what are you doing with your life? It's fun, heartwarming, and will leave you feeling more inspired than after watching a motivational speech from a squirrel. On number 2. Kaiju number 8. Set in a world where massive monsters, or kaiju, love to pop up like uninvited guests at a party, and humanity has to clean up the mess they leave behind. It's like living in a world where your annoying neighbors are Godzilla and his extended family, and they have no respect for property lines or quiet hours. Our hero is Kafka Hibino, a 30-something dude whose life hasn't exactly gone according to plan. Kafka always dreamed of joining the Defense Force, the elite squad dedicated to fighting kaiju and looking cool while doing it. But instead of battling giant monsters, Kafka spends his days working for a kaiju cleanup crew, scrubbing monster guts off buildings and picking kaiju teeth out of the pavement. One day, Kafka's life takes a turn when a small, talking kaiju flies into his mouth. Because why not? It transforms Kafka into a half-human, half-kaiju hybrid. Now Kafka has superhuman strength, healing powers, and the ability to transform into a giant monster whenever he sneezes too hard. With his newfound powers, Kafka decides it's time to finally chase his dream of joining the Defense Force, even though he's now technically a kaiju himself. As Kafka juggles his double life as a kaiju fighter and an actual kaiju, he faces all kinds of challenges. All he wants is to protect his friends, live his dream, and maybe figure out why turning into a kaiju always ruins his clothes. On number 1. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It is a heart-pumping synthwave-infused series set in the same universe as the Cyberpunk 2077 game. You know, the one that had more bugs than a summer picnic. But don't worry, this anime is like a hot dog, full of juicy goodness and way fewer glitches. Imagine a world where the rich live in sky-high penthouses, and the poor, well, they live in crumbling alleyways, fighting over scraps like cats over a can of tuna. Our hero, David, is a little street rat who gets mixed up with a band of edgerunners. Essentially, they're like futuristic mercenaries on the ultimate thrill ride. These guys are packing more style and attitude than a peacock in a disco. Listen, I'm not saying this show is going to make you cry, but it's like watching your dog run into a glass door. You can't help but feel emotionally wrecked. The story pulls you in with heart-stopping action sequences, but then bam, it hits you with emotions that are as sharp as a CyberLife razor blade. One moment you're cheering, and 2 seconds later, you're sobbing into your kawaii tissue box. If you want to lose yourself in a world filled with electric colors, thrilling stories, and emotions that hit harder than your last breakup, Cyberpunk, Edgerunners is your go-to anime. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.